This is Layla, bringing a live video. Yes, I know my hair is a bit frizzled because I tried a new L'Oreal product. So today, my hands are so dry, we are going to be starting to unbox, or it's already been plastic removed, Pinto Bobcat kit. With that being said, I actually started doing some work, but not all. As you can tell last night, after a short clip video, I started gluing the front tires together. Excuse me. And I had too much spaghetti tonight. Can't help but being a big Italian woman. But, anyways, with that being said, my first order of business tonight is really going to just focus on doing the first set, getting this all done properly, and got my coffee here just to keep me awake for the time being. Anyways, the special video is going to be based on, because we're getting close to Christmas. It's December 22nd, 2017. Of course, my nose is itching. So, being that it's December 22nd, and Honey's here on my shirt, my cat. Anyways, I'm just going to show you I'm going to show you the first steps of building an old vintage model car, which is the Ford Pinto Bobcat, which I have the box upside down, that's kind of like my dumbass thing to do. So, as you can tell, you can see where the plastic, actually, these aren't vinyl, these are 100% plastic. Very, interesting that, using crazy glue for this was kind of one thing I didn't want to do. So, what I'm going to do is to make a realism, to make it look like it's vinyl, or realistic vinyl tires in some cases for an old traditional Pinto kit, is I'm going to take some really abrasive sandpaper, which is going to be an 80 grit sandpaper for the tires, and I'm just going to start, kind of getting this all rubbed in, more like sanded in. I've been away from my video for a while, so as you can tell what I'm doing, if you take a little bit of a notice, an old technique I did many years ago, and I'm starting to rub down over here. So pretty much what I'm going to do is go around this whole entire tire, kind of getting an idea exactly how much I can make this realistic and how much I can't. But I'm just gently, or not gently, but I'm just pacing myself, cleaning out these tires a little bit, kind of seeing exactly where I'm going to go. Of course, being covered in dust. So, I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep sanding, keep sanding, keep sanding. Kind of keep in mind that this is sort of thing that most people don't really get into to actually model building. I mean, I'm the only female who can model build and video game on one channel, which is the funniest thing. Normally I don't do a lot of these videos, but I do a mix and match of things. So I know my video is kind of a little bizarre. Actually, my whole channel is, but it's just the way I am. The way my channel is. But now, as you can tell, I don't have any... Oh, yeah, I do. So I have paper towel. So what I'm going to do is just clean out the excess. I'm kind of leaving some high and low marks accidentally or on purpose, because I'm trying to get it kind of like, somewhat of a fresh new look, but also worn out. As you can see as I'm going around, some things like this, like over here, just getting all this kind of like a new but used look, and hopefully, do the best I can to make this old vintage kit, excuse me, true and can hear. Now I'm going to do the same with this tire. Usually a model kit like this, any kind of model kit I end up building usually takes me about, could take me like 6 months, a year, possibly maybe a couple months. It depends on how much detail I want to put into it. So as I'm doing the repeat, rinse and lather, so I'm just taking the 80 grit and just kind of doing the same thing, what I did with the other tire, and I'm just going to kind of keep in mind that doing something like this does take time, patience. So I'm just going to start doing, getting the wheels pretty much together, kind of doing the best I can. I can use the Dremel, my drill press, if I want to go faster, but I don't want to nick the tire. So I'm going to leave it to what I'm doing here. Kind of keep it an old vintage look, you know, nothing too fancy. You know, kind of like making this back to when, years ago when these old model kits came out, and you're making it old vintage looking as it were, you know, as it was back in the 70s. You know, I was always into the Ford Pintos. I was always into the Chevy Vegas. Pretty much anything Ford, anything Chevy. A little bit in Mopar, not too much. I mean, I know everybody thinks Mopar is American muscle, which it is, but I don't. I generally don't tend to do anything more than that. But trying to get this down, trying to rub it down, and getting the kind of like that newish used look, and getting it to where I need it. And I'm not gonna do too much. I'm not gonna go crazy. You know, because mind you, these are tires. Of course, they're gonna have that newish kind of new used look. So let me clean this up a little bit. Now for this, like for detailment, as far as anything goes like this, it's always a good thing to just make sure you have everything cleaned. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any anything really worth good or doing. Of course, now here you have it. Old vintage tires that would look like that. There's a lot of other things too. I mean, they're not bad for plastic. I mean, you know, for an old vintage kit. Very small. You know, worth the time. Worth the effort. First, I'm drinking coffee to figure out what my next step is. But I think I have something here I can use. That's just the furnace. Not furnace. That's the hot water heater that's going. What I'm going to use for the raised lettering is on the tire is going to be a Tamiya White X2. And normally I would stir this up if I can even open a bottle, which has been for like ever. Now, as you can tell, it's all like gunk up in the bottom, which that can be fixed. I need to find my best friend who's been with me through many years, which is my little cutting tool, and $7-10. It's worth it any hobby store. Now, and a key aspect of everything, so far, I need a stirring stick, so I'm going to grab a chrome parts tree. Just find something that looks decent, something that will make it stand out, and I believe I found the part I need. Cut it like so, and right here, Now I'm going to go in here and stir this Tamiya paint up, which is a water base. Get this all nice and stirred up before you use it. It's key vital. I do have some water aside, so that's good. I think that should be plenty, and that's what you want for the color. Now for this, it looks kind of funny, it looks kind of hokey, it looks cheesy. And there's a little bit of my hair that was still left in here from the last time I used it on a fine detail project. So, without further ado, I'm going to put this on my head, which kind of medieval, kind of old. It's going to look kind of funny on me. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this on my head, kind of like so. And I look like something from, who's a doctor from I can't think of it. I think it was a doctor or a scientist or something like that. I don't know. So I'm gonna actually do this. It's not properly adjusted because originally this belonged to somebody else prior for many years. Well, actually it was mine, but things changed over the years, so what I'm gonna do, generally I would use this, and hopefully my eyesight is still as good as it was. So I'm just gonna take a little bit to my white, try to lay down the tire a little bit here to carefully go in. Wow. And get this Goodyear logo with the shoe with the wing on it. See, I always try to do it where, see, this is what you need to do. But for the lettering, it's not going to be done with the brush. This is what you're going to have to do for the wing of the shoe, which is easier to do with the brush than it is for the lettering. So what I end up doing here is I'll take another bit, just a little bit, not too much. Don't go freaking ape shit on detail. Just want to kind of get in. And it's always key important to actually set the tire down so you can actually see where the this thing of what the winged shoe is going to look like. Of course, you know, one side's going to look a little bit more foobar than the other, but that's no big deal. That I can actually fix very quickly with a put that in there to let that sit. I have an X-Acto blade, which will probably work for, well, right here. And normally what I do is I try to go into here there we go, just to scrape a little bit off. Get in there really nice, and then yeah. So now next thing, I won't use the brush for the lettering. Question is, do I have a toothpick that's actually going to be capable? And it seems I don't have a toothpick. Or maybe, hold on. I gotta see what's in my bag of little trinkets I have here. Okay. Right, like that's not even gonna be it. Oh dear. Oh no, another trick too, you can even use a nail. Might take longer, and hopefully the paint doesn't dry up very quick. So, just take a little bit of a nail. I need to find my thing here. Take the end of it. Leave the tire laying down as what you should do, or keep it steady so you can actually get of course not enough. Try it again. And if all else fails, you do the next alternative. You get a toothpick. Yeah, see, you're gonna... There we go. Just carefully getting it in there. Not going too crazy, just getting it nice and good. You can do the best you can without trying to get it all in there, but if you do it right, there shouldn't be any issues. So you get a little bit more onto that tip there. So next thing, I also want to talk about while I'm doing this, is you can always check out my other videos if you're not into watching me doing this sort of thing. Normally, I know I look kind of funny right now just doing this, but it's something I'm used to. Just by going into here and just getting a little bit. Taking my time with this actually, which kind of patting it down. Showing it who's boss. You know, it's really, stuff like this is a little bit painstakingly slow. There's no surprise there. I don't have the fast forward caption on this, so kinda weaseling it in. As much as I can get. Now, as you can tell, this is not everybody would actually do this. This is just one of the few steps to do detail. With the proper respect of the good old 1970s and the later years. And just to think, a person I knew used to work in a tire yard, so they used to do this sort of thing. I learned from him, and he kinda showed me how to do it. Which actually worked out pretty good for him, but there we go. That's one that, several letterings to go. Yes, I know, the 1970s always had this funny looking scheme. Of course, this stuff is like falling on me because I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but next step is, this is always the trick part, was always doing the E for the Goodyear sign. There we go. Always had issues with this part in general. It was never a good thing. It was always a bad thing. Something always happened. Okay. Wow, you know, it's the first time in many years I've actually done that without messing up the letter E, followed by the letter A and the P. Eep. No, that's double E, sorry. Yeah. And what's funny about Tamiya paint is it doesn't smell bad. It's not it's not rank or rancid or anything like that. So what I do is I take a little bit here onto the A. Just kind of like get it detailed enough and good enough. And the last thing is the letter R. What was it? The Count from Sesame Street? What was his name? Oh God. I can't think of his name now at this point. God, I'm just like trying to figure it out, and I can't. next time I am switching to using a toothpick. It's easier that way. I mean, I did go with a nail, but the nail absorbs too much of the paint. Plus, it's metal. And now to show you what the tire looks like in detail. Of course, I'm not going to do the other tire that's in for a later segment. I would do both of them, but I want to show you exactly how this turns out. So, now as you can tell, hands are so dry, this is what you get. It says all Goodyear on it and everything. This is what you get, the end result. And it'd be the same for this tire too. However, for the meantime, this is what you get after looking at a tire complete. And if I really want to top it off to make it look kind of really cool looking, I'll grab one of these old vintage rims. And just clean this off a little bit. And just do it this way. We'll clean one of these bad boys off, which I think is really interesting. Kind of getting it cleaned up. Trying not to gouge the chrome too much because I don't want to have any any problems later on as far as like the assembly goes, which shouldn't be any issue. But let's take a look here at what I have done. Let's see, we slide this little bad boy in. We'll let the tires sit down and we just slide it into place. And there you have it. This is the complete rim with the tire with the Goodyear, which always works very, very well in my book. I'll move that tire there so I can show you. But this is one way to detail it. So when you get to that point, you detail it. You're pretty much good to go. So if you happen to like this video, the trick to detail the lettering, to make the raised white lettering, please hit the like button, subscribe if you like what you saw in this video and how I did this. Just, you know, leave a comment. I'm open to answer comments on online, you know, on YouTube, and that pretty much will actually sum it up for today's video, which in the next video you'll see another raised white lettering on the tires. And so anyways, I think I did a good job. It's been so long. But anyways, yeah, feel free to hit a like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. And looking forward to seeing you in the next video. This is Layla, and I'm going to say goodbye for now. And continue building.